Hey there, welcome to Hermit Haven. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. We're so excited to invite you into our safe space. Hermit Haven is like a cozy little hideout where we get to celebrate being confident in ourselves as we find happiness in quiet moments.
So grab your favorite blanket and your favorite drink, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Hermit Haven.
Hi, I'm Ashley. We're so excited to have you this week. We're going to be talking about the different versions of ourselves we're going into and what we're doing to get there, because these things don't happen overnight, and it takes tools, it takes motivation, and it takes consistency, which is hard, especially when you're going through multiple different seasons, which I think we talked a lot about in the last episode. We talked a lot about throughout every episode, I think. Right? Life happens so fast, so quick. It's like a roller coaster, right? You're like, oh man, did that just happen? Like, holy moly, right? It just happened so quickly. And I think being consistently wanting to grow into the best version of yourself, and sometimes the best version of yourself is going to change in a sense, right? Best version of yourself in this season might be filled with more hobbies versus, the next season might be filled with more family time, right? It just depends what's going on in that season. But I think Jackie and I talk a lot outside the podcast about things that we're doing at home. Like, I mean, every day it's like, I'm trying this thing new. I'm trying this new app. I'm trying this. And so we're going to get into all the apps we're trying. We're going to get into all the little techniques we're trying, the journaling we're doing, just the random things that we think are helping us because it might be helping you.
This is like my jam. I feel like if I could talk about any subject all the time, it would be this one because we are and that's life, right? We're supposed to grow. We're supposed to grow and change all the time. And I know that sometimes I think people just have a weird mindset around change when they get nervous about it. And it's like change is a good thing. Like you're changing and you're growing. You're supposed to do that. You're learning, right? And you're hopefully doing more for yourself and finding out different ways that you think and why you think those things and working through them. That's life. That's called change, right? Positive change. And so growth, whatever you want to call it. And so, yeah, this year has been just a really big growth year for me. It's something that I've been personally, we work on it all the time, but this year I told myself my identity is going to be what I'm really going to focus on. And I've been listening to the Bob book called the Bob book that's called Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. I love this book. I'm on my fifth or sixth time listening to it this year, and it's the beginning of June. June. I just love it. I know it's maybe not for everyone, but I know Ashley's listened to it. It's good. But yeah,
I didn't actually
It's good.
listen to it, so I don't I
Oh,
just read it.
you read it?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know what the book would look like.
I don't know. I read it on my phone.
Oh, I didn't even
I read it
realize.
for one of my library cards. I have 4 different library cards, but
Yeah,
I'm having trouble getting into one of my library cards. So I have to figure out why, but they might have
yeah.
just figured it out that I don't live there anymore.
Yeah, we were at the library today actually. But I listened to it and it's like the guy Bob Proctor and someone is asking him these different questions. He's a very big self-development
Hmm.
person and he's amazing.
What was that movie he's most known for? Oh my gosh,
I have
watched
no idea. I didn't even really know who he was before the
we
book.
watched the movie in
Oh, The Secret. The
yeah,
Strangest Secret? No,
yeah.
not The Strangest Secret. The Secret. The Strangest Secret is what's his name? The guy that is his idol, right?
I
The
think
Strangest Secret is the recording that you can
yeah,
look up on YouTube.
Earl Nightingale.
Nightingale, Earl Nightingale.
And The
Highly
Secret
recommend
is
that
his.
too. The Secret is his movie that he created, which
Yeah.
is also really good. It used to be on Netflix. It might still be on Netflix. I've watched that movie multiple times actually. I didn't realize that was his until they talked about it in the book. But yeah, highly recommend The Strangest. It's called The Strangest Secret. That is Earl Nightingale's audio recording. You can listen to it on YouTube. It literally sounds old because it is very old.
Yeah.
Like the old radio recordings almost. That's what it sounds like. But oh my gosh, it is so good. Highly recommend. I listen to it on my walk. Listen to his book all the time while I'm the Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life book by Bob Proctor. It is a book, but it's more like an interview. Like I said,
He
it's really
talks
good.
a lot. I think people are probably like, what does he talk about in the book? That's so good. So I think when I was trying to explain it, it feels like his big message is okay, well, this is the life you were given. This is the things you have, right? Right? You developed, maybe it's from your family, maybe it's this glass ceiling created. There's some reason why you're not moving forward. And so in this book, he talks a lot about how you have the things to do it. You just are not doing it. And so I think why this book is so good to listen to. And it's really short. Like I read it, and it's a very short book. Like honestly, I think it was one of the easier reads for me. Is I think what's really good about it is he really breaks down different things that you might be wondering about in different life skills per se. There's, the bit about finances, there's a bit about like life, there's a bit about like every little thing you're kind of wondering, like, how do I get more? Because he's into it. He's talking about it. And I think too, he
Yeah.
talks about at the end of the book how he thinks that like you should study this book like 30 minutes a day. And you should get a buddy to do it with you and then have a discussion. So he's really saying like I put all my secrets in this book. If you study this book, you will see success. And he's saying like this isn't a book you just read once. This is a book you read multiple times. So that's why like we're saying like this is a great resource of something like we would be using because it's something you can consistently do. And so you're creating a habit and a skill. Because like honestly, like sometimes it's hard when you're like, oh, I'm gonna read this book and you're not into it, but you really want the habit of reading to, work on your habit of reading. You can't work on your habit of reading if you're not interested when you're reading. So I think that this is something easy because, every time you're like, oh my gosh, he said this. Oh my gosh, this little nugget, right? Like there's something like he's telling you every time. He's
Yeah.
like, slow down, read this, really read this. There's something in there.
And I think like the way that they did it with the interview style makes it easier to digest too, because it's not like you're reading something where you have to like I don't know, usually when you're reading and you're learning at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, what? But just the way that they had it, I don't know, it was so easy to just take it in. And he's such a positive person. Everything was so positive, and like Ashley said, throughout the book, and I think because one of my words of the year was limitless, maybe that's why like this book really stuck with me, because he talks about like if you have a desire to do something, you truly can make it happen, and like why. And in the book, it's so good. Yeah, and your paradigm. So I'd never heard of the word paradigm. Your paradigm is basically the way that you think, like the things that have influenced you in your life, right? Everything that we think today is because we've been influenced by something somewhere. We're not born with like the thoughts that we think. Like we are influenced by our parents and people around us and energies and all the things, right? And so that created who we are. And so there's things that we think about ourselves. Like I used to think I just cannot public speak. I used to think I'm just too shy of a person. Like there's things that I used to think about myself, and it's like in reality that's not true. And it's not just what you think. Like there's also like like Ashley said, financial stuff and things that like you can do for your life and changing your life. I don't know. I love this book so much. Highly
It's
recommend.
all part of it. And there's other books too, right? Like
Yeah.
we can sit here for days with different book recommendations. I think what's fun too is finding new books. I have like a lot of books that I tag and
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, what am I going to read now? So like I'll be like a
Yeah.
nice little surprise. And I'm reading a book right now about like how the five senses like alter, your experiences and everything, right? And that's really
Yeah.
interesting to me. And then I think I was reading one about like parenting at one point. Like I think that's a great tool and a resource overall. So like even if you're not reading Bob per se, or you're not reading a book I'm reading, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter, right? I think reading in general is a great resource to
Yeah.
it develops your brain, it helps you get off your
Yep.
phone, it helps you learn, it helps you, I don't know, speak better, it helps you think better, it helps you process your thoughts, right? I
Yep.
think reading is a skill you can teach someone. I think
Yep.
reading is something to, I don't know, give you self-care, self-time, right? I think it's something to help you teach your focus, right? So I think that's a great tool to help you in any season of life. And something I was like telling Jackie, I noticed like when I'm having like a weird hard season, I read less, right? But I always try to go back to reading because I know reading is a really good tool for me. And sometimes that's all it is finding tools for you. So, right, Jackie saying I'm always listening to Bob. Like Bob is my dude. That is who I'm listening to. I got 30 minutes of Bob a day, right? And then you might find someone that's going, "Hey, I'm not listening to Bob, but I'm listening to Earl Nightingale," right? And then you might find someone that says, "I don't do any of that. I don't know, someone else on, I'm listening to someone
Yep.
else. I'm listening to Gary Vee, I'm listening to this person." It doesn't matter who you're listening to. Find a mentor. It doesn't have to be an actual mentor that you're physically talking to, you're emailing back and forth, you're texting. Find someone that you see and you say, they're doing the things I would like to be doing in my life. Let me listen to what they are saying because maybe what they're saying does have wisdom and does have insight. But also, that goes back to your mindset, right? If you are not willing to show up and be a student and learn, and you're not willing to take time to actually digest what you're listening to and what you're hearing, and also understand that you might not understand everything that is coming out of someone else's mouth because you just don't relate to it. And that's okay too, right? But digest what you can and take every, you might listen to something and be like, all I learned was one thing. Well, you learned one thing, and that one thing might change your life, or it might just help you be interested in learning something else new. You
Yep.
don't know like what is going to lead you from point A and B. So I guess like these are tools like we're talking about that are going to help you grow. So like Jackie saying I listen to Bob, we're talking about reading, we're talking about maybe audiobooks, maybe some love of
Podcast.
a YouTube like
Yeah.
self-development video where they have like the little motivational words and the little like speech, or you can watch a vlog. We love some good vloggies.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference too. I was talking to Matt about this, but I think some vloggers are more storyteller vloggers and some are telling like really just talk like I don't know, using vlogging as like a diary. So like
Yeah.
do you want to watch a diary vlog or do you want to watch a vlog about like story, like their
Yeah.
kind of their story? That's up to you, right? Find those things that you relate to. Find the things that like will bring you to the next level.
Yeah. I talk about this all the time, but I watch a lot of like journaling, like vlog I guess they're vlogs. They're just like videos that people are talking about their journals and stuff. But I try to find people that I feel like are positive and like inspiring. But on the same token, I talked to Ashley about how I watch Sydney Adams King.
I was waiting for it.
She started as like a fitness, I think it was fitness, but she's just such a positive person. And when I watch her videos, like she doesn't talk about like positive growth motivation stuff. She just talks about her life. She happens to be a fitness coach too, but just the way that she talks, the way that she lives her life, it just is so positive and makes me want to be like a better me whenever I watch her videos. And so, like I was just saying, like find someone that you feel like, oh my gosh, when I listen to them or watch them or whatever, read about them, read their book, I feel like a better me. And it might take a little time for you to read. I've read so many books. Like it took me so many to find Bob, and that's fine. Like, but I still got stuff out of everything else. It's just I happen to really like this book. And he talks in the book about how he did the same thing when he first started reading books. He read the same book over and over and over and over again because he wanted to continue to learn, the information that was in there. You read it once and then you leave, and then like how much do you really take in?
Mm-hmm.
And I've reread fiction books too, or like re-listened to fiction books because I liked it. Like I liked the book. Like so anyway. I think that you're right. Like reading books, podcasts, just something where you can find someone that motivates you is so positive. One of the best things that you can do.
I think sometimes too, I don't know if it's just like a female thing, but we think sometimes like we're like thinking all these thoughts. I mean, I think we have 1,000 thoughts a day and we're like, is these even real thoughts? Like, is this true? Like, am I just like having another thought? Is this my hormones? Is this like whatever something I saw on the TV? And then you like hear, read about it, see about it, and you start like, or like, okay, no, this is a real thought. Like, I'm feeling this. And then it starts like, I don't know, it kind of pushes you, right? And then it's like, okay, well, what's the next step? Right? Sometimes we need that like motivation. So I think sometimes in the process of when you're, trying to take care of yourself, become the best version of yourself, like feed your inside, like your mental health, you feed your soul. Sometimes you do need a friend to help you. And sometimes you do need, maybe it's not a friend, an actual friend in real life. Maybe it's a friend like for a vlog, right? And sometimes you just need yourself, right? Maybe it's just you sitting down with journaling, or maybe it's you sitting down or not sitting down, but going to make some cookies and just having some like one-on-one time with yourself, right? Solving the problem of making cookies, right? That's a skill. Baking is a skill,
Yeah.
right? I think so many times we don't think about like those just little things, right? I think sometimes too, we might, when we're trying to become the best version of ourselves, we pour so much more time into everything else and we kind of forget about ourselves. So I think just again, going back to tools, going back to things that are going to help you grow and succeed is like using timers, is using like a schedule, is maybe like writing out, a plan for the week, right?
Yep.
I think too, when you're doing these things, you could say, okay, what are the things that are actually really hard for me? How can I break that down into little pieces, into little things to make things easier? And I think that's the same thing when you're trying to create the life that you want. How can I break this up into little pieces? So maybe, buying the most fanciest journal is the plan eventually, right? But maybe you just need like a small journal to start with, right? And then once you start, then you're gonna like, I want 50 other journals, and that's okay because you're consistently feeding the habit to continue to grow the habit.
Yeah. One thing that I've been doing lately that has been really helpful, and this might seem like really, I don't know, like not mundane, but boring. I don't know, there's a word, but I can't think of it. But I have just like a plain notebook. That's where I do all my planning, whatever. I do like weekly plan. I create it all myself because it's my creative time. It's my creative time to sit and do that, and that's part of my me time, right? Anyway, I like doing it, but I have a daily page where I write my to-do list for the day. Every single day has a different to-do list. And so lately, what I've been doing, because I'm like, oh, like I want to remember to get my water, and there's a bunch of different things I'm trying to do for myself. I want to remember to do my morning prayers, my evening prayers, like listen to, some of the Jewish studies that Ashley and I are doing together, and just other different things for my health. And so there are things that I want to be doing daily, right? Daily habits. And so I've been literally writing them in my daily page every single day, rather than having them like on a note card somewhere or on a post-it somewhere. And I literally have to check it off. And so if I didn't finish my water, like I don't get to check it off that day. And I know, I don't know, there's a word for it, like writing it down every day. Probably people are like, that sounds like ludicrous, but I have to do something to force myself to remember to take care of myself. And so, and my retainers are on there. Like I have a checklist to like, where are my retainers? But these are things that I need to be doing, and life is so busy. And so if it seems hard to get things done for yourself, that's because it is. It is hard because life is distracting. We have distractions
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, our phone, it's our families, it's, things that we need to go, we're supposed to go to and go out of the house, gotta go food shopping. Like, we gotta make sure we have food for people and cook it. And there's just so many things. And so I can't, my brain's too scrambled. I can't always remember, even though it's the same things every single day. I still can't remember. And so I write it down and I check
Yeah,
it off.
I think
It's
that's one
helpful.
way is, writing it down, right? That works for you. My mom's also loves to make a list. My mom is a queen of list, right?
Mhm.
That works for some. I think, besides the physical of writing it down, right? In this, like, I'm going to, I don't know, like become, these are the things I'm doing to become the best version that I want to be or like show up for myself better. I think it's just the mindset too, right? You're saying I'm making all these lists. Well, if you didn't care about yourself, then you wouldn't even have this, this like motivation to even make the list. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh, I have to go do this, right? And I think
Yeah.
you have to, it all is your mindset. Do you
Yeah.
want to take care of yourself? So I think, in this season, it's working on yourself in the sense of like, I don't want to include myself in negativity. I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of negativity. I don't want to be part of that kind of stuff. How can I pour into others this season? How can I pour more into myself this season? How can I take time to go through my thoughts and my feelings at the end of the day? How can I take time when I wake up to say, okay, these are my goals for the day? And I think so many times, just those little, like, it takes 5 seconds to ask yourself, what are my goals today? Right. But then it's
Yeah.
the next level, like Jackie's saying, right? It's now write it down. And it doesn't have to be on paper, it could be in your notes, it could be on an iPad, it could be
Yeah.
honestly.
I've seen girls with crazy, amazing, like like your iPhone notes, like they have ones and then they just clear it every day and then they just go back to it. So it's like always there. They do crazy things. And then like the reminders app, that's another place you can make like little lists. I know if you use Google Calendar, then there's tasks on there too. There's all sorts of different places to have little to-do lists. But if you need that reminder, one important thing I will say about the to-do list, because for some people, I think it's going to be easy to be like, oh, great. Like, look, I didn't get any of this done today, right? And go to the negative. And you can't do that. You have to be like, look, I was so busy today. I didn't get my 90 ounces of water that I wanted to get in. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a new day. I didn't get any of the things I wanted to get done for myself today. Tomorrow's a new day.
I
It's
think
cool.
I think sometimes it's also just saying if I can do one thing. I don't know, like I used to always say, okay, if I could do one thing for my house today, one thing for myself, and then like one thing for my son, and one thing for Matt today, then today was successful. Even though
Yeah.
my laundry list might be 100 acres long, right? Whatever I was going through today, there's a reason why I was only able to accomplish one of everything, right? But I still
Yeah.
took time to pour into each bucket that is part of like, I feel like if you don't continue doing the task and the chores, let's be honest, they fall behind, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's just unfortunate unless you're going on like a 2 week vacation somewhere and someone's going to be, serving you unlimited cocktails and food. You're you know what I mean? Like you have to
Yeah.
continue these things, but it's not just
Yeah.
like doing the task and chores for these people and these things in the house. It's really pouring into like maybe take an extra second to like read with your child or take an extra second to like listen to whatever your husband's telling you about, even though
Yeah.
you can care less about golf or whatever it could be. I don't know. You're like, that's that sounds great. Yeah.
Sounds like my life right now. I'm just kidding. No, I agree. And if I don't plan my week out, like at the beginning of the week, I'll be like, okay, what are we doing this week? Or which days do I think we're going to be leaving the house? Because now that it's summer, I get to choose for the most part. And then I can go through and be like, okay, which days am I going to do my workouts? I'll pick 4 days I'm going to do my workouts. Which days, what kind of meals do we want this week? Like make sure that I have a day that I go to the grocery store to get this stuff. Like I just like to plan. I like to have it all planned so that I kind of don't have to think about it. Like the decision fatigue is so real, and the less that I have to think, the better. And like planning in time. My cute little junk journal, and that's where you like put a junk journal is where you put cute little like things. Like I cut this out of something that Glenn had made. Like just little random pieces of paper and things, and you just glue it in a book. It's like scrapbooking, basically. It's not really junk per se, it's just random things. But I have this huge thing of all the things since for the past like 6 months, I have not touched this journal. And I haven't made time for it. Like I haven't made time. I have to sit and make time for the things that I want, right? And
Yeah.
so I can't say yes to all the other things when I need time to sit and work on my junk journal. But that's time that like I'm reflecting, I'm fueling myself, I'm giving myself joy. Like I don't know, I used to think, oh, I just don't have time. Like that stuff doesn't matter.
Mhm.
This was my mentality, like truly up until the past maybe couple years, not even maybe like past year. My mentality was just like, I don't have time for that stuff. It's not as important. It used to be important, but it's not as important. But I know when I'm sitting and doing it, I feel amazing. And I can even listen to Bob while I'm sitting doing it, or whatever, and just like zone out. It's important. Your time for yourself, whatever you're doing, is important enough to put on your calendar.
Yeah.
You are important. Like, I'm saying this from someone who was like, I'll put everyone else first. Oh, yeah, I have a spot here for myself. Oh, you want to like hang out on that day? Well, I guess if that's the only day, like, yeah, sure. No, that's my time. I'm
I think
busy.
I think no matter what, pick one thing each day you
Yep.
can do for yourself that's not the usual brush your teeth, drink your coffee. Like pick one thing that you can do and start there and go from there. And I think as you continue moving forward, you're going to find more things that you love and make you you. And you're going to want more time on the schedule for you because you love what you're doing. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes when you get so sucked up in a season or whatever is going on, sometimes unfortunately you do lose like what you're trying to do, and sometimes you don't. It just depends. I think we're all different too. Some people don't lose and some people do.
And I think like when we think about growth and like changing our identities, which I know I said this in the last episode, but I did sit down and write like who do I want to be? It doesn't matter who I've been. Like I'm writing who I want to be. I want to be more patient with my kids. I want to be unbothered. Like I want to
Hmm.
feel limitless. Like I'm not trying to hold myself back. I'm like, oh, I can only do so much. No, like I can do so much more. Anyway, I wrote a whole list and just realized that it doesn't all like happen all at once. It doesn't happen like super quick. Like it takes time to like retrain your brain to think different ways than you've been thinking. But when you think different ways and you do different things, that's when you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I feel like my life has changed. It has, because you're becoming different and you're growing and it's amazing. And it doesn't have to be a million things all at once, like Ashley's saying. If it's all feels overwhelming, pick one thing. But if you're like me who likes to go a little crazy, then I like to have like a little list and be like, what are the things I do have a list. I have a list of what I could be doing besides scrolling on my phone. So that if I'm just like, I don't know what to do right now, but I have like 10 minutes, I can just
Hmm.
go look at my list. I'm like, oh, I could go read. I could go write in my journal. I could go do this. I can go
Make a
garden, like check on my
list.
plants.
Make a folder in your phone, like
Hmm.
make a
A little
sticky
note.
note, like whatever you have to do to do. I love that.
Yeah,
This is a great place to end it because I think truly at the end of the day, we're all going to show up and do different stuff for ourselves. So what Jackie's doing is what Jackie's doing, and what I'm doing is what I'm doing. And I think we are both been working so hard to consistently, no matter what season it is, to give back to ourselves. And I think when that season does suck us up, we do come back to ourselves, which is a hard skill itself. So I think at the end of the day, if you found that you lost yourself and you're now showing back up for yourself, that's enough.
absolutely.
Well, we love you all. Have a good day. We will talk
Love
to you
you.
later. Bye bye.
Thanks for spending time with us today and being part of our Hermit Haven community.
We hope you enjoyed our cozy chat and are inspired to embrace your inner hermit.
Remember, even in the quiet moments, you're never alone on this journey because we are truly all in this together.
So until next time, stay cozy, stay true to yourself, and keep spreading love wherever you go.
Bye for now.
We'll see you next time.